Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure once again to invite you for the discussion today. And our topic for discussion is the meeting between former President Uhuru Kenyatta and President William Samoei Ruto, a meeting that took place in Ichaweri, Gatundu, President Uhuru Kenyatta's home, where William Ruto paid him a courtesy call. And the visit has sparked a mixed reaction, and different opinions and views has been shared concerning this kind of high level of meeting. It came as a surprise to many Kenyans. It is another form of handshake that is being extended after the formation of a broad-based government with Raila Odinga. And it also came a few months after Gachagua was kicked out of office through impeachment. And we all know that nobody can wish away Uhuru Kenyatta's influence in Kenyan politics. Being a former head of state and a man who is also perceived to be still the kingpin of Mount Kenya region and hold the instrument of leadership of Agikuyu tribe at the Mudegis. One would not want to disassociate himself with such a person. And why would this come so quickly after Rigathi Gachagua was attacked in Kiambu County, in Limuru to be precise? We know that we are approaching 2027 general election. And William Ruto, being a shrewd politician and a strategist, as we have known him over the years, many would say that Ruto and Uhuru had worked before and they would want to continue having that good relationship even after their retirement. William Ruto seeks for few things. Number one, after having Raila Odinga on his side, he is assured of political support. And when I say political support, we know that Raila Odinga is a man of masses. He's a man who has a suicidal political support base, and his supporters are always ready to die for him, whether he is wrong or right, politically speaking. Raila Odinga has made mistakes. Some of the decisions that he has made, politically speaking, has cost him. But whenever he makes a wrong move, he's always ready to correct his move. And for that reason, he has remained relevant for quite longer in political scene, even at a time when his political critics thinks that he is going to make grave mistakes. He managed to bounce back very strong, and for that reason, he has managed to sustain his political support base. And this could be very important for William Ruto if at all he wants to win 2027 general election. William Ruto is going through what many incumbent presidents always experience when they are in office. Uh, the problem of publicity. We know that Ruto is not famous. Ruto is not popular at the moment, and therefore he must look for the solution of that issue, because in politics, perception is also an issue and something which is very critical and must be also put into play. So, having put Raila Odinga on his side, he has win in stage one. Number stage two, William Ruto want what is called the what is referred to legitimacy. Having Uhuru Kenyatta on his side gives him what is called legitimacy. After going through the political process, whether he will rig the election or not, having Uhuru Kenyatta on his side will make people see that he is a legitimately elected president. And I tried to follow up on some of the things that State House shared to the public that former President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto discussed in the meeting that took place in Gatundu today. And ladies and gentlemen, before we delve into these points, allow me to invite those who are coming across our channel for the first time that please take a moment, a minute or two, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And doing so, we are going to be motivated, because that's the only way that we can continue to support MJR going forward. And to our subscribers, allow me to take this moment to appreciate you for standing with us through and through. And without your support, this channel would have not been where it is at the moment, and we say kudos. State House, Nairobi. They said that one of the things, among the 10 things they shared, I managed to pick the issue of Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto talking about the constitution of IEBC selection panel. We know how that issue is critical in our politics and the election of this country. The governance system is midwives through election, and the body that oversee and manage election is the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. The IEBC has been absent, the commissioners have been absent from office for long after the resignation of the few who remained after conducting the last general election. Therefore, it is important for a country to have an election body, because we know that there are so many by-elections which are pending at the moment and should be managed and be supervised by a body. Number two, we know that it has been shared that William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta talked about global issues, more so issues pertaining to environmental challenges, climate change, and COVID-19, among other things, that has also affected many countries. Another thing that we are told that these people managed to talk about within this time that they meet was the issue of a broader and more inclusive political consensus, more so to the government of this country. We know that after the Gen Z's protest, William Ruto managed to open doors and to extend the boundaries of his administration and to bring on board those who he thought perceived to be opposition, and therefore we can see ODM members being included into the Ruto administration. It is also mentioned on the statement that was shared by the State House that these leaders managed to underscore the fact that the cultivating nationalistic and patriotic harmonious leadership is also necessary at this critical moment where there's some political turmoil in this country, and some parts of the country feel that they are not properly represented and maybe they are edged out in this Ruto's administration. And to my own observation, I know that also the issue of Mount Kenya arises. When Ruto and Uhuru met in Embu, during the ordination of Catholic Bishop Peter, there was some kind of rejection in terms of ululation, and that is a very important aspect, politically speaking. You know, politics is about perception, and propaganda also play a very big role. And when during the introduction we saw and heard how the reception was when Uhuru Kenyatta's name was mentioned and Gashagwa's name was mentioned, the crowd went crazy. And when Ruto and Kindiki's names were mentioned, there was no much ululation, and this did not go well with the President William Ruto and his camp. And Gashagwa used that also to poke holes on William Ruto's relationship with Mount Kenya, saying that when he was mentioned, the crowd went mad to demonstrate that he is still the darling of the mountain, and without him, William Ruto cannot manage to salvage the deteriorating relationship with the Mount Kenya. And now Ruto has to look for Uhuru Kenyatta also to try to make amend on the areas where he feels things have gone south on his political vehicle. Ruto is focused. Ruto is determined to win 2027 general election. The subject which was also discussed during the meeting was Raila Odinga's AU candidacy. And as the country offered Raila as the finest of all to go and vie for the AUC as the man who is the best to lead Africa and the father of the continent. How are they going to mobilize and support for Raila Odinga and his campaign, owing to the state of Uhuru Kenyatta currently into this continent? Uhuru Kenyatta has tried to mediate talks in Ethiopia, in Congo, and some other parts. Uhuru Kenyatta has also observed many elections in Africa, having appointed by AU to go, and so we know in his influence in continental matters, and therefore his input is also necessary and is needed to help catapult Raila Odinga to win the African Commission chair come next year during the election. And lastly, Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto met to discuss and to do some post-mortem on the last general election. And we know that it is said Ruto also took that opportunity to appreciate and commend former president for his statesmanship to hand over power without much ado. Ladies and gentlemen, we can say more and more and talk until cow comes home. But we are here to follow and to give you updates and issues to do with politics and political matters unfold. And allow me to pause and pause at that moment. And I wish you all the best.